Hi again, everybody. I wanted to talk a little bit now about the classwork that we're going to be doing this semester, specifically the article reports and the discussion and how that's going to work. So, if you look in Module 1 on Blackboard, you'll see that the goals for this module are written here, and then the activities, you're going to watch the safety video, read these 3 articles, and then the assignments are the lab stuff, and then a discussion and an article report. The at-home experiment proposal is already explained in another video. Tomorrow, I'll be recording another video about lab expectations, so you can see that there. But for now, let's take a look at the article reports and the discussions. So article reports are also detailed in the syllabus, so you can find that information there. It's copied again here. So right here, you can see the directions. Submit your report for the first article. For each article, you are to read the article and write a 250 to 500 word summary of the article, and then a reflective paragraph in addition to that, answering those 4 questions. So there's a little bit more information in the syllabus, so check that out. But I want to show you kind of how to find in this sort of an article, what works and what doesn't work for this. So for these first article reports, I believe there's 4 of them in the next coming weeks, about the first half of the semester. These should be kind of general knowledge, news type reports dealing with science and chemistry. So there are lots of different places you can go to find articles like that. I'd recommend major newspapers that have scientific reporting. So that could be something like the New York Times, which, if you actually go into their sections here, maybe once it loads. Sorry, too many things on the internet at once right now in my house, I guess. Okay, here we go. So we go to the science, and they actually have, or the sections, they have a science news section right here. So you can bypass all of the other stuff. Now, in these, once you get to a section like this, what are you looking for an article? Well, first, find something you're interested in. Don't just read an article because of whatever. The reason that these are open ended is that you find something that you actually want to read about. At least that's the goal. That's the idea. So, okay, you want to read about an asteroid? That might be interesting. Something about some fish. If you go back to the assignment, you'll notice you do have to have something about chemistry involved in that article. But as you'll see, chemistry touches pretty much everything. So it's pretty easy to find chemistry in your article somewhere, no matter what you pick. And if you have a question, you can always ask. Let's um, let's take a look at this one. How do you solve a moon mystery? Fire a laser at it. Okay. Researchers have used reflective prisms left on the moon's surface for decades. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we're going to read it. So um, we would read this article, and first of all, we want to make sure that it's long enough. You'll notice if we go back to the assignment says you need to write a 250 to 500 word summary first of the article, and then do these explanations. So if your article is only 250 words or 500 words, it's going to be pretty hard to write a summary of something that's already that short. So you want something of good size. This, I would say, is of good size. If you have a question, certainly send it over to me and just say, hey, do you think this thing's long enough? But anything about this length or longer is probably fine. So then you want to look for, so you'd read it, and then we want to look for some sort of chemistry involved in here. So for this one, just kind of skimming it over, I haven't read this before. But if I'm looking at this one, maybe this idea of this glass corner cube prism, that there may be some materials chemistry in that. I might want to look up what that is and think about it a little bit. We can also talk about what the retroreflectors do to the photons. That's certainly chemistry adjacent, chemistry related. I'm not going to mark you off points because it's not specifically a chemistry article. It just needs to be long enough that you can write a good summary and that you can answer these 4 questions. So you're going to do that 4 times over the first part of the semester. So let's look at a couple things that don't quite fit. One is the intention of this is that these are news type articles for a general audience. So I don't want you to look up specifically scholarly articles for this assignment. So that would be things from the library or Google Scholar, where you can actually type in some keywords and get peer-reviewed articles, scientific articles, reports of scientific studies. We're going to deal with these articles. That's kind of what the second half of the semester is about. These first article reports are meant to be more general interest type things rather than specifically detailed primary reports of science. So that's a little bit different. So I would say sites like the New York Times. You can also look at specific science sites like sciencenews.org, where you have to be a little careful with some of these sites, and it really just depends on the site and the article, is that some of them get a little short because they're simply reports of a single study. So you'd have to look at the word counts, but this one actually looks okay. Sometimes these little blurb type articles where it's just reporting a single thing that happened can get a little bit too short. But otherwise, those kinds of things are fine. Anything that's a fairly reputable journalistic source is fine for the article reports. And again, if you have a question, it's really simple to just, especially if you're looking it up on your phone or something, you can just copy and paste the link into Discord and send it my way and say, hey, how does this look? And I can click on it and quickly say, yep, look, that looks great, and get right back to you right away. All right. So the other thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the discussion. In the past, we've always done this in person, of course, when we had this class in person, but online, you may, if you've done online classes before, you may use the Blackboard discussion board. And I've just always not liked the Blackboard discussion board. I just find like, the you got to make your own post and then you got to reply to two other people's posts, and the writing always seems very just unnatural. It doesn't seem like a discussion. It seems more like a writing exercise. And I want this to be more like a discussion. So that's why one of the reasons why we're using the Discord app this semester is so we can do these discussions with more of a real time feel. You can just throw in some sentences. You don't have to craft a masterful paragraph response to something. You can just, like you would in class, just kind of give your opinion. So please read these 3 articles and make some notes on them. And I will be posting some discussion questions in Discord and asking you to have a discussion, a participatory type discussion. And I'm going to be grading that really on participation more than the quality of your posts in terms of like I don't expect paragraphs and paragraphs. I want to have a real discussion about this. So just being a part of that, adding some stuff, adding your opinion, your ideas, what you read and what you think about it, and how we can answer some of the questions. That's really what I'm interested in. All right. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. And watch for the next video, which will describe the lab expectations for this class.